Hello, I'm Christopher Gajewski. Welcome to my fellow rejectees from America's Next Grade Author. We got rejected. Hey, don't take it personally. I'm an old hand at this, and my rejection letters could wallpaper a few houses. Of course, back then when I first started submitting, it was rejection letters, and now it's all emails. So if I printed up the emails, I could wallpaper a few more houses. To me, submitting is like dating in high school. Rejection is the rule. But I did get dates in high school, so once in a while it's going to happen. So that brings me to my first point of what I would want young writers to know is that you have to be humbly arrogant. Hey, submitting is being arrogant. It's arrogant personified because I'm saying when I submit to America's Next Grade Author that my stuff is better than the 50 other thousand submissions out there. And that's arrogance. But you also have to be humble about it. Because one, being rejected might have nothing to do with you. It might have something to do with the editor or the person that is processing everything. I've spoken to editors. I know editors. And I've heard stories about how they spill coffee on themselves on the way into work, or they get into an argument with their significant other before leaving for work. So when they come in, all the submissions, they just get tossed. There's plenty more waiting. So it might not even be personal. But the other thing to keep in fact is the humble part. It might be personal. Hey, when I'm dating, or when I was dating, everyone's not my cup of tea. I'm not everyone else's cup of tea. But how do I get better at being me? So that brings us to my next point. Being a professional writer is 10% about writing and 90% about the business side of writing. Hey, I can write all day. I can give you 5, 10,000 words if you want me to. But there's the business side of writing, which I was too arrogant back in college to really learn. So that's why I had many more rejection letters than probably what I should have. What is the business side of writing? The business side of writing is querying. You gotta perfect that query letter. There's tons of resources online. Check them out because you got to target the query letter for the publication that you're querying to. You can't just do a cut and paste. It takes time. It takes research. It takes patience. It takes word choice. You got a couple seconds to capture them, to bring them into what you're writing. When I got done college, I was too arrogant. I had published clips. I had praise from professors. Some of my clips were published in international publications. I was going to come out of college and some editor or publisher or agent was going to find my work miraculously and say, "You're wonderful. We're going to give you tons of money. Come write for us." It doesn't work that way. Never works that way. Another part of the business side of writing is editing and self-editing. I'm working with an editor now. I self-published a book, got good reviews on Amazon. I really touched people. An old friend of mine, a professional editor who's been doing this for a long time, she got a hold of it. I sent her a copy just as a thank you. And she was like, "I'm going to work with you on this because it's really good, but it really needs some work." Let me tell you, I got the good reviews, but a 3-hour conversation with her, I'd rather redo boot camp. Boot camp was easier than this 3-hour conversation because she's pulling it out of me. Now, part of it is that I'm trying to get the old gears going again, but because self-editing to me is one of the most difficult things that we can do because I can edit your work and I think that I can do a really good job of it. Self-editing is much harder because you have to be objective, and it's hard to be objective about our own work. We're so subjective that our minds fill in the blanks. So if there's a typo, if there's a bad word choice or a jumbled mess in there, which my editor is finding left and right, our minds fill in the blank. So it looks perfectly fine to us, but to a reader, they're going to stumble on it and they're going to say, this is really bad. So she keeps on sending me these emails and these texts, and she keeps on apologizing. And then I'm like, don't apologize, please, because she's trying to encourage me and she doesn't want to discourage me. And I'm just like, you can't discourage me. Life has already done that enough. I'm over it. I'm learning here. So I'm looking at it all as a learning experience because I've learned to be humble. The final thing that I have for you is keep at it. Just keep submitting, be humbly arrogant, learn the business side of writing, and just keep at it. If you have any thoughts about being the next Stephen King or Dean Koontz or whoever is the big writers out there these days, get it out of your head. It doesn't happen that way. It's like hitting the lottery. It really is. If you read the stories of all the major writers, they struggled and struggled and struggled, and they got paid. Like some of my favorite forewords are Stephen King books. I don't like Stephen King books, but I love his forewords. I also like his short stories, but his forewords are made for writers. So check them out, especially the forewords to the short story books, because he talks about the writing process and the process of like how one short story, his friend laughed at him because he only sold it for like $20. And then 20 years later, he sold the movie rights for like $1 million. But you got to get that out of your head. You got to remember it's a labor of love. I always say that writing is like having a full-time job that doesn't pay. So you got to find yourself a job. Get out of your parents' basement, because you got to find a job to pay the bills, and then you need to use this to pay your soul. And sometimes it's a high price to pay, but if you really want to do it, you'll get it done. So that's all I got for you this time around. I'm trying to keep the video fairly short, but to the person or the intern or whoever who sent me the email about what would you like them to do for us now, what would be important for me, I would like to see why some of the things were rejected. You can use mine if you want, I don't care. I mean, did it suck? Was something better than mine? Like, what exactly, so that way we can learn more about rejection, that way we can learn more about accepting rejection, and we can learn more about improving ourselves so that we have a better shot at submitting the next time, which I will be doing. What am I going to get to work on now? The book I submitted. It's a book that needs to be written, so I'll be working on that. While my editor is tearing me up on this other one, I'll get that one done. And then there's another one after that, and another one after that, and there's going to be another one after that. I'm writing articles and columns and doing videos and scripts and podcasts and all this other stuff. So just keep at it. Do what you love. Feed your soul. Don't take it personally, but take it personally enough that you want to constantly improve yourself. So aloha. I'm out of here. Be good to yourself.